What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Tier List Tuesday. We have a very special episode in store, and I just want to say, first of all, thank you for 3,000 subscribers, for officially 10 tier lists done for Balatro. I wanted to celebrate, and I wanted to do the long-awaited, long-requested tier list of tier list. So without further ado, let's jump into it. As always, I'm judging these tier lists based off of how useful they are. You know, every single deck, white through gold stake, high score, and challenge runs. So we're going to start with the Balatro Hands tier list, which recently just came out. I'm honestly feeling pretty good about this tier list. I think in general it was solid. It's not the greatest, which of course is a blueprint for shop, but it does feel very much like drawing a four of a kind. It felt good. I think it's still holding up. Of course, time is relative. It just came out. We'll see how well it ages. But for me, I think it's in that B tier. Yeah, I don't think we had too much back and forth in the comments, too much disagreement. I think everyone's kind of aligned here. I think the advice is probably going to age well, but of course, there can be tweaks in the future to the game. But all in all, I think this is going to end up being one of the better tier lists. Moving on to the booster pack tier list. Now, this is going in that Balatro C category. I think all in all, I've kind of changed opinions a little bit on booster packs. I kind of stand by where I ranked all of them, and that's still how I play the game, but I don't know if that's necessarily the most efficient way to play the game. If I see a spectral pack, I'm opening it. Now, when you actually look at what's in spectral packs, I don't think that's maybe the best way to play it. But that's just how I play the game. That's how I have fun. Even when I am trying to have a hyper efficient run, maybe once in a while I'm able to resist, but normally I can't. So I feel like this tier list veered more into how I like to play the game in a little bit less of an advice oriented manner. You know, really when I look at that tier list, I now look at it as how excited I would be to see each one of these in the shop. And it's like, yes, I'm not normally excited by a mega standard pack of cards, but to be fair, there's a really big reason to open up those, and that is to get red sealed steel kings, or get a polychrome jack with a purple seal that you can then change down the future and fit around your build. So, I think all the booster packs have their place in the game. I think Arcana packs are probably the most reliable, end of the day. And this was really more of a personal belief. In fact, you know what? I think this actually has to go in the D tier, Wraithing and gain a Seance in the old patch. It's just not quite up to par in my opinion, but I'm still happy with putting it out there. I don't have too many regrets. I just don't think it followed the kind of advice oriented nature I want to have with my tier list. Moving on to the boss blind tier list. All in all, I don't feel like there's really any advice here. This really is opinion based. It's kind of like, how scared should you be? How much should you prepare for these bosses? And I actually really stand by basically everything I said in this. I still don't think it's my best work, so I'm going to put it in the B tier of drawing a four of a kind. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with this video. I don't think there's much to take away from this. You're not going to completely change the way you play your game after watching this boss blind tier list, but I really liked my opinions throughout. I still agree with them. I think for what you would have in a boss blind tier list, I'm happy rewatching that video. Moving on to the consumable tier list. Now this one I'm torn because I definitely have differing opinions. I think I feel pretty confident about what I put in that top S tier and maybe even the bottom tiers, but the middle is all jumbled around at this point. It did not age as well. Of course, we also had the buff to Magician, which I think wildly changes how I feel about that card. I do still like it more than my booster pack tier list. I still think watching the consumable tier list, you're coming away with a much better strategy than you are watching the booster pack tier list. And again, I don't think my opinions at the time are wrong, and I can't foresee updates to the game, so I'm not going to knock myself for like the Magician stuff, but I do think my opinions have changed quite a bit. This is one that I could definitely revisit in, a future week and hopefully come out with something that is more relevant, something I feel better about. But I'm also not going to put it in the D category because, again, I think this actually provided a lot of helpful information. I think it was pretty common even for myself and other players, for example, to not gravitate towards Immolate. Well, at the end of the day, Immolate is, I think, the end all be all of consumable cards now. You know, you're deck thinning by destroying 5 freaking cards, and you're gonna pay me $20, basically max out my interest to do it. It's insane how powerful that card is. And we touch on a lot of other things in that video. I think the way I talked through most of the cards makes sense. Maybe my placing of the cards in that tier list were not the greatest, but all in all, pretty happy with it. The deck tier list. This is going in the A tier, Blueprint First Shop. This was my first ever tier list. This is really what kind of started this YouTube channel, started this content journey. One of the first things to blow up other than my, what is Balatro video, basically. But it's kind of crazy. I feel very confident about this list going back to today. Like, a lot has changed in the game. I think a lot of ways people play it, but if I were to do a tier list today, it would be very similar to that tier list I did way back when the game first came out. I feel like I really nailed the feel of each of the decks. I think, maybe the margins are a little bit slimmer between them, especially when you're talking about maybe the common decks like yellow, red, and blue. But all in all, the way I play the game and how much I play with each deck and how confident I feel with each deck and how easy I find it on gold stake, white stake, and whatnot, I mean, patting myself on the back here. I think I knocked it out of the park. I really enjoyed the deck tier list. I think it's still relevant today. I think it was very helpful for new players, and I'm happy with it. Moving on, we got the original Joker tier list now. Talking about really skyrocketing. Had tons of support on this video. It is my most viewed video on the channel thus far, and for that, it's going to get some bonus points. However, literally the next morning, I was like, I already disagree with like part of my list, and then the comments started flowing and bringing up a lot of good points, and not even, I think, a week and a half later, the way I was playing the game was not in line with this tier list, really. I still stand by a lot of the opinions, and if you watch the updated Joker tier list, it's honestly not that dramatically different, but I do think it can't be A tier worthy just due to how much has changed. I will put it in the B tier because it has a place in this channel. It led to a ton of great debate in the comment section. Shout out to this community, Balatro community as a whole, and the viewers of mine and maybe the ones that crossed over who kind of just stopped by for that Joker tier list video. The conversations were very civil, went back and forth, and I think a lot of people learned a lot about how to play this game and different ways to play this game and different ways to think about it due to that comment section. So I think due to the success of that video, the comment section moves all the way to the B tier, drawing a 4 of a kind for me. However, the video itself, the content within it, if you're just going to watch it at face value, it's more in that C tier. Again, I couldn't predict the future. I think with the information, the way I was playing the game at the time, I presented it well and all that, but I was wrong quite a bit in this video. The playing card tier list. This is an A tier video for me. I think it's still correct. I think when I'm playing gold stake, those aces are still very valuable. All in all, yeah, the way I play the game now, we've been going for a lot of records on stream. That's kind of been my forte as of recent, so I'm doing a lot more kind of white stake, lower stake, maybe some black stake if I want to get eternal jokers in the mix. So not playing super high stakes, and I think this is really where you have the freedom to take a look at this playing card tier list and be like, that's what I'm going to gravitate to. But even at gold stake, I mean, this has a lot of relevance because you will get a hangman earlier, or you will get a train card, and it's like, what do I delete? How can I go about this? And I think we talked about a lot of that in this video. We talked about the pros and the cons of the different ranks, and it sounds very silly, like that a king and a 7 are on a tier list. Like they're all just playing cards that are tools, but there's a massive difference once you start applying how the jokers kind of affect this game, and the synergies each one has with these jokers. So I'm happy with that tier list, and I'm gonna put it all the way in the A tier. Skip tag tier list. No Baron through 16. Look, I'm not afraid to say it. Balatro University put it a lot better than me when he did his skip tag tier list. Now, do I completely disagree with what I put there? Absolutely not. And I think especially with the update and what has changed, I stand by a lot of what I said in this video, but for some reason, I'm being a little harsh. I'm going to put in the D tier. But for some reason, when I watch it back, I just, I think the whole tier list felt a little bit like a stretch to me. It's like I'm trying to give myself the benefit of the doubt, and it's like, well, if you take it for what it is and you look at it just within skip tags, this is how you put them. And I'm not mad at myself for this video. I don't disagree a ton with it, but it's just like when I really, the way I play the game, it's like all of these are not great. There's a few that are worth it. They're very situational, but it's really hard to put in a tier list. And I feel like I maybe forced this video a little bit. Again, I didn't like make up any opinions. I still kind of agree. If you asked me to rank them, that's how I would rank them. But I think I should have been maybe more upfront or explained in a way that's like, this could be good situationally. This is probably bad situationally. That's basically all the skip tags, right? That's just how they work. Moving on, we have the updated Joker tier list. Very happy with this video. I still think playing card and deck tier lists need to be on their own pedestal, but I'm going to put it right next to my other Joker tier list. Very happy with this one. Looking back, I still, whenever you rate 150 different items, I think you're going to go back even the next day and be like, don't know if I agree with everything. That's how I feel now, but I think the information was presented well. Again, the comment section popping off. You guys do a great job of, communicating your thoughts, agreeing, disagreeing, and doing it in a very civil manner. And again, learning a lot from that comment section, both myself and hopefully the people participating. The tier list itself, it's like, really, again, this is kind of how I'm approaching the game right now. A few things have shifted in the past couple of weeks, but all in all, I think this, if you really want, just how valuable is each Joker, how often am I going to use it in my Balatro journey, watch this video. This video is obviously outdated due to the patch, but also just my opinions. I think you can look at this video on your own and feel pretty good about it. You don't need to venture in the comment section like I think I would advise someone to do my OG Joker tier list, even the day after, where I was like, I was kind of wrong. Go read the comments and read why I was wrong. I don't feel necessarily the need to put that caveat on this video. The Voucher tier list. This is the one that gets the no Baron through 16. What's funny enough is I actually like this video more than my booster pack or skip tag tier list. I think it's enjoyable. I don't regret making it. I'm not saying this was bad content, at least when I'm going back judging it. However, I've had some big, change in feelings on a lot of Voucher tier lists. And, Balatro University always says, I don't make a Voucher tier list because you just grab all of them except for the bad ones, which is the Planet, Tarot, and Magic card ones. And I agree with them now. I've changed the way I look at Balatro. I kind of agree with that sentiment. So, first of all, there's that, where it's like you just buy them all when you can afford them. It's kind of silly to put in a tier list, but similar to maybe some of these other things, you still, it's fun. It's fun to rank stuff. It's fun to explain how good is something. And I think you still totally can do a Voucher tier list. I just strongly have different views on how I would place a lot of these things. I think I rate economy a little bit more. I rate the rerolls a little bit more now that I really understand the economic impact on them. Tarot Merchant was an A tier. Oh my god, I have not grabbed it since. And again, this was partly like, Balatro University and I talked about. It's not like a thing that he just knew and I didn't. We talked it through, kind of did the, napkin math on it. We didn't go in depth, but we were like, oh, you know what? It's not worth it when you consider what you're getting, what it costs, the amount of rerolls you need to find what you're looking for a Joker. If you buy the Tarot Merchant, it's just not worth it. So all in all, opinions have changed drastically on this. I don't think it provides the greatest information for maybe a new player, but I still found the video very fun. And I think if you guys want to watch it, go back, watch it, and you can strongly disagree with where I'm at, but I think this is one of the more fun items to do a tier list out of, because it really is kind of a little bit of preference. And again, everything's so close together because, like I said, you should buy them all, that it really comes down to, how much do I like each one? I just kind of disagree with my sentiment on how much I like each one. So I'm being harsh by putting it down here, but we had to put something in F tier, right? I can't be that egotistical and have all my stuff be at least D tier content and above. And you know what? We had this happen on stream today. No Baron through Ante 16. It hurts. And it hurts to be wrong and admit I was wrong about some of these Voucher tier or placements, but it is what it is. So that is the Balatro tier list of Zaino tier list videos. Thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers. Hopefully you didn't take this video too seriously, although it was kind of fun to make. Hit the like if you like, dislike if you didn't. Comment down below what tier list you actually want to see next, because I'll be honest, I'm running low on ideas. I probably need to start playing some new games. So comment down below what new game you want me to play. And remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't end up like Murphy.
I'm not subscribed to Zaino on YouTube. And I'm sorry. There we go. Well, you're subscribed. Subscription ad.